Hey everybody, Dieter Bone here for the iPhoneblog.com. You may have known us as Phone Different, but we merged with the iPhone blog, and so we're all together now, and it's great. And oh my God, there's a BlackBerry Bold. We're going to compare it to the iPhone, and when you see the two of them sitting right next to each other, you can see that, there might be some similar stylings there. They look kind of the same. You can see they're the same height, which is a little bit surprising because the iPhone gets knocked for being too tall. The Bold is, of course, quite a bit wider, and it is a little bit thicker. And I'm going to show you a couple different versions here of the bottom to try and give you a feel for how much thicker. Not all that much, but when you do stuff, 3G radio and Wi-Fi and GPS in there, it tends to get a little bit bigger. And there you can see the curvature on the bottom. The Bold does have a little bit more of a curve on the bottom than the iPhone. Curves in a little bit more, and this isn't the final spec either because the final Bold is going to have like a leather backing, I guess, but really doesn't feel too bad on the hand. There you can see I'm comparing the headset jacks. They are both 3.5 millimeter headset jacks, but the Bold uses one that's not recessed, which is nice. Bold also uses standard mini USB to connect, which I appreciate. Both screens are 480 by 320. The iPhone used to get all sorts of credit for having really high pixel density. I guess the Bold is going to beat it on that count. Of course, the iPhone is touchscreen, the Bold is not. And because it's glass, I think that the iPhone screen looks okay compared to the Bold, not too bad. Here I'm jumping into the web browser. Now, the web browser on this Bold is not the final version, and in addition to that, the the BlackBerry PIN number on it got turned off by RIM because our sister site crackberry.com bought it on eBay before it was released, and so apparently RIM didn't like that, so that got turned off. So when I show the web browser here, I preloaded the page just because it's just not, the data doesn't work the way data is meant to work on a BlackBerry. But you can see you can scroll up and down relatively quickly, and you can zoom in and out. And of course, if you are know anything about BlackBerries, you know that you can also load Opera Mini on it and have it look much better. But let's face it, there's no contest. The browser on the iPhone kicks the pants off of the browser on the BlackBerry Bold. Sorry guys, you still have a whole lot of catching up to do there. Use those pixels better the way that they do on the iPhone. All right, let's see what else we can take a look at here. Now you can see there's a Word to Go, there's also Sheet to Go, and I believe some kind of presentation software to go. So you can do document editing on the Bold. That is not yet available on the iPhone, although you can view it. Here are the clock apps. The Bold has a new clock app, and that's supposedly a big deal. So we'll take a look at it here. You can see all the standard stuff, changing alarms. No world clock though, but stopwatch. Look at the stopwatch. And let's see what else here. Boom. Overall, I do like the UI of the iPhone better. The UI on the Bold is pretty good. Once you get used to the trackball, get used to hitting that BlackBerry button to do everything that you want. It certainly looks a heck of a lot better than previous BlackBerries. I really do like that they went with this sort of, light, dark background, light, icons around everything, like line drawings or what have you. So it does look better, but it still has yet to catch up to the iPhone. Now, one thing I do want to show you here that I'm not going to show you as long as I'm still showing you the clock here is I'm not going to be able to show you the email apps by comparison. The Bold does have a much better email application overall, but since the PIN got turned off, can't show that to you. So apologies. Let's see, what else can we take a look at here? Let's take a look at, scrolling around, applications. What do we got inside applications? Tasks, calculator, camera. Oh, let's take a look at the calculator. And there's the iPhone's calculator. I must not have hit the button properly. This Bold is pre-release. The ROM on it's not the final ROM. They're still working on it even now. And so if you're seeing some things on the Bold, you do have to excuse it. But again, I'm preferring the iPhone. Let's see what else we can find here. Go back into applications, messages, Sheet. There's Sheet to Go, voice dialing. Oh, it's got voice dialing. That's a leg up on the iPhone. And let's see what else we can find. Well, there's the messages. As you can see, there are no messages, so that's not all that interesting. Calendar app. Ooh, it looks like it's pretty bright there. There we go. And there's the iPhone's calendar app. Now the Bold, you can, jump between weeks. You can hit the scroll bar left and right to go between days, and that's pretty slick, and up and down to go between times. And then there's also other views like week view and month view, which week view isn't available on the iPhone. So the Bold seems to have a little bit of a, I don't know, a Palm OS sort of calendar look to it, or maybe even Windows Mobile, more like Palm OS. And so it seems to be a little bit more utilitarian, a little bit more useful than the iPhone's calendar. So there's that. But I'm going to pause here and load some music onto the Bold, and let's see, put it right in that SD card slot there. And we'll have a break. And now that I've got music on that SD card slot there, I want to show you the media interfaces between these two, because the Bold has this big new screen and it's supposedly much better at media. It also has a gig of onboard memory for storing things like music files, but mostly I'm sure it's for storing documents and whatnot. So let's go take a look at the default media interfaces on both devices. Open up the iPod there. So on the iPod, or on the iPhone, excuse me, you've got the standard tabs at the bottom, and then you can hit more to go look at other stuff. And on the BlackBerry, they actually integrate all their media into one app: video, music, pictures, everything. So let's go look at artists, and you can see on the Bold, you can just scroll through a list of artists. Dun, 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 dun. Don't make fun of my music collection. I'm okay with my music collection. And you hit play, and there it is. It shows the album art finally, and then boom, there it is. And I'm just recording a voiceover here, so you can barely hear the music in the background. Of course, the album art shows up much better on the iPhone than it does on the Bold. But I do want to say that the Bold is pretty good about grabbing album art from the ID3 tag, something that Windows Mobile has just not done all that well, and Palm OS is a little bit sketchy at. And of course, it does not have the iPhone's cover flow, because nobody does. Not really anyway. So there you go, and we'll see if we can get that back to the standard list. And let's check one more thing, and I'm going to leave the sound off just so that you can hear me talk. We're going to load up a video. There it is, Ask a Ninja. Looks awfully darn good on the iPhone. And then we'll head over to the same thing on the BlackBerry Bold. Not use that scroll ball. All videos, Ask a Ninja, same video. And you can see there it is. It's popped up. And hey, it doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty darn good. And adjust the volume here, although you can't hear it. And oh, there's a flash there. Well, it is still pre-production hardware, so if you see that green flash, it's not the worst thing. They'll probably clean that up. And I do have some of that browser running in the background, which is also not the final browser, so that might be hurting a little bit. But yeah, it's perfectly legitimate to watch a video on the BlackBerry Bold when it's not grinding like that. And like I said, I still chalk that up to it not being the final production. Yeah, like you can see there, if this were final, the demo video would work without problems. Of course, the iPhone has a bigger screen, but watching video on a Bold, not too shabby. I don't think battery life is going to be quite as good on the Bold as it is on the iPhone overall. Here we'll take a look at the picture viewer, and you can see that was what was done to my office as a practical joke. We can zoom in and look at all the duckies. That's not too bad. Of course, it is nowhere near as interactive and intuitive and cool as photos on the iPhone. And you've seen it before, but it's worth looking again. You can use multi-touch to zoom in, and rotate, and move it around, and so on. So there you go, BlackBerry Bold versus iPhone. There's going to be much, much more at the iPhoneblog.com, including a spec rundown and lots of pictures. I think they look awfully similar. I'm not lying.